If you are hearing this right now, I need you to understand something that most people will spend their entire lives circling without ever touching. There is a vibrational trial, older than religions, older than the names we use for spirit, older than the symbols carved into temple walls, that separates seekers from initiates. Seekers collect ideas the way the body collects dust. They can talk about frequency, energy, manifestation, awakening, and still sleep inside their own mind. Initiates are different, not because they believe harder, not because they meditate longer, but because they have crossed one invisible threshold, a moment when vibration stops being a concept and becomes an event. A few cultures hinted at it. Egypt hid it in architecture. India hid it in sound. Tibet hid it in breath and syllable. And modern science, without meaning to, keeps pointing at it through resonance, entrainment, and the way the nervous system changes when a single tone lands in the body at the right depth. This trial was never meant for the curious, it was meant for the ready. Because when you do it correctly, even once, you don't simply feel relaxed or spiritual. You set something in motion, like tapping a tuning fork against the bone of your life. The old patterns hear the new vibration, and they begin to crack. Before we begin, listen carefully to this warning, because this is where most people prove they are only seekers. Do not do this while driving, standing, or in water. Sit safely. If you have a history of seizures, severe panic attacks, or serious medical conditions, keep this gentle or skip the breath holds. This is not medical advice. This is inner practice. Treat it with respect. All you need is a quiet place, a straight spine, and the willingness to do something that sounds too simple to be real. Because the secret is almost insulting. The trial is not complicated, it is ordinary, and that's why it exposes you. Now, lower your shoulders, let your jaw unclench. Place one hand on your chest, one on your lower belly, and promise yourself one thing. You will not perform this to impress your imagination, you will do it to change your vibration. If you're ready, truly ready, then you're about to learn the first gate. This is the ancient sound test that reveals whether your inner field can obey you. There's a reason ancient temples felt different the moment you stepped inside. People think it was the gold, the incense, the chants, the mysticism. No, it was physics dressed as myth. A true temple, whether an Egyptian chamber cut into stone, an Indian sanctum designed to hold a single syllable, or a Tibetan hall built to carry low throat tones, was engineered to do one thing: return your own vibration back to you until you can no longer pretend you are separate from it. I still remember the first time I touched the threshold tone the correct way. It wasn't dramatic at first. No angels, no fireworks, just a sound, barely a hum, landing in my ribcage like a stone dropped into a deep well. And then something terrifying happened. My thoughts kept appearing, but they didn't feel like orders. They became weather. They were there, but they didn't own me. That is the line. That is the separation. Because a seeker hears this and says, "Interesting." An initiate hears this and says, "I recognize the door." The hidden principle: Egypt, India, Tibet, one secret in 3 masks. In Egypt, the priests didn't preach positive thinking, they trained resonance. There are inscriptions and myths about words that open and seal, about names that carry force, but beneath the story is a mechanical truth. Sound changes the human system: breathing, heart rhythm, attention, perception. In India, the tradition of Nada Yoga treats sound as a bridge, not entertainment. The syllable was not a brand, it was a technology, a way to coordinate breath, vibration, and awareness into one coherent field. In Tibet, mantra was never just repetition, it was an instrument that reshaped the mind's grip. The syllables were tuned like keys, the breath was the bow, the body was the string. Different costumes, same mechanism. A stable tone plus a stable breath plus a stable attention equals a different nervous system. A different nervous system equals a different reality filter. Modern science circles this awkwardly with words like entrainment and vagus nerve stimulation, the idea that slow rhythm and steady vibration can shift the body out of threat mode, change heart rate variability, and alter attention. But the ancients weren't trying to publish papers, they were trying to create humans who could survive truth without collapsing into fear. And the threshold tone is the first test. The trial: do this exactly once, exactly right. Sit upright, not stiff, just aligned, like a candle that doesn't want to bend. Seal the exit points. Close your lips gently, teeth apart, tongue resting behind the upper teeth. This matters because you're about to make the sound enter the body instead of escaping into the room. 7 cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose for a slow count of 4. Exhale through the nose for a slow count of 6. Do this 7 times. Don't force it. If you feel dizzy, shorten the counts. On the 7th exhale, let your shoulders drop like you finally stopped carrying something you forgot was heavy. Find the tone that locks into your chest. Now you will hum quietly, not loudly. Loud is ego, loud is performance. You are searching for a frequency that makes your chest feel like a resonating chamber. Hum on a comfortable note. As you hum, slowly slide the pitch up or down until you feel a subtle click, like the sound suddenly becomes dense and present in your sternum. That click is not imagination, it is resonance. When you find it, stay there. The 33-second seal. Hum that exact tone for 33 seconds, not 10, not 60, 33. Why 33? The ancients loved numbers, but the real reason is psychological and biological. It's long enough to pass the mind's first wave of resistance and short enough that you don't strain. While you hum, do one thing. Focus your attention on the point behind your forehead, between the eyebrows, without squeezing. Not a stare, not a strain, a gentle placement of awareness, as if you're resting a feather on a still pond. The silent drop. This is the real gate. When the 33 seconds are done, stop the hum instantly. Do not inhale immediately. Just pause naturally and listen. You are not listening with ears, you are listening with the inside of your head. In this silence, you may notice a subtle buzzing in the face or skull, warmth in the chest, a widening behind the eyes, a sense that the room got bigger, thoughts appearing more slowly like they're arriving from farther away. If nothing happens, do not panic. That reaction, doubt, is part of the trial. Because the trial isn't asking, can you feel something? It's asking, can you remain stable when the mind doesn't get instant proof? That is the first separation. The 3 mental traps. How seekers fail this instantly. Trap 1. Hunting for visions. The mind tries to turn the practice into a movie. It demands symbols, lights, images. That hunger is exactly what keeps the gate closed. Initiation is not entertainment. Trap 2. Forcing the breath. Some people strain, push, hold too long, trying to break through. That's not power. That's fear wearing a costume. The body must feel safe to open. Trap 3. The ego crown. If you succeed even a little, the personality may whisper, I'm special, I'm chosen, I'm above others. Congratulations, you've met the oldest guardian in every tradition. The Egyptian texts called it a serpent. India called it illusion. Tibet called it grasping. It's the same creature, identity clinging to spiritual achievement. If you notice it, smile gently and return to the sound. Signs you did it correctly, and what once can change. Here is what's strange and why this practice was hidden. If you do the threshold tone correctly one time, you may notice changes over the next hours or days. Your reactions slow down, like anger arrives late and confused. Old cravings feel less hypnotic. Certain conversations feel unbearable, not because you're superior, but because your nervous system no longer wants distortion. Sleep becomes vivid. You start catching your own thoughts mid-sentence, as if a watcher woke up inside you. These are not superpowers, they are symptoms of coherence, and coherence is dangerous to your old self. Because your old self survives by noise, the threshold tone introduces a new ruler, stillness with authority. The warning nobody likes, but every initiate learns. If you do this and feel nothing, you may be disappointed. If you do this and feel something, you may be tempted to chase it daily, obsessively, greedily. Both are tests. The real side effect of doing it correctly is not dizziness or tingles. It is this: your inner world becomes honest, and honesty burns. You may notice truths you avoided. You may lose interest in pretending. You may outgrow a timeline without asking permission. This is why the ancient initiates feared the ordinary return. Not the chamber, not the ritual. The moment you go back into your normal life, carrying a vibration that will not allow you to lie as comfortably. The confirmation. Seal the collective field. If you did the threshold tone, whether you felt it strongly or subtly, type a confirmation in the comments. The journey has begun, or I have activated the threshold tone. Not because I need it, because you need to anchor your nervous system with a decision. Sound creates resonance. Decision creates direction. Together, they create initiation. And now you are ready for the second gate, where breath and vibration become a single instrument, and the body learns to open the inner sense without hallucinating. This is the hidden mechanism that turns vibration into a doorway for inner vision. There is a cruel joke written into human design. Your mind believes it is the master, but a single change in breathing can dethrone it in under a minute. That's not poetry, it's biology. You can argue with your thoughts for 10 years and still repeat the same patterns. But shift the rhythm of your breath accurately, calmly, and with intent, and the entire inner world begins to reorganize like iron filings around a magnet. The ancients knew this. Egypt wrapped it in myth, the breath of the gods entering the nostrils of the statue to awaken it. India refined it into pranayama, life force shaped by conscious rhythm. Tibet turned it into a razor, breath as the knife that cuts through illusion. Modern science keeps finding pieces of it. How breath affects carbon dioxide tolerance, how it influences attention networks, how slow exhales signal safety to the nervous system. But science, like a person standing outside a temple, describes the door without stepping through. Today, you step through. And I need to warn you, this gate is where seekers begin to panic. Because the breath gate doesn't feel spiritual. It feels too real. It exposes the truth that your mind are not always you. They're often the nervous system misreading the world. And when you correct the breath, the misreading collapses. That collapse can feel like liberation or like losing control. Both reactions are part of the trial. The legend of the hidden breath, why it was kept back. In one old story whispered across multiple traditions, there is a test given to those who wanted access to higher knowledge. The test was never, "Are you smart?" It was never, "Are you pure?" It was, "Can you remain steady when your inner world changes?" Because the first taste of inner power makes weak minds arrogant and frightened minds obsessive. So the teachers hid the breath gate inside something almost nobody would take seriously. A simple pattern, a quiet rhythm, a moment of pause. They knew a truth that modern people hate. The gate does not open to complexity, it opens to precision. The core principle, the science wearing a robe. Breath is not just oxygen, breath is signal. Every inhale subtly activates readiness. Every exhale whispers safety. And the pause is where the mind loses its grip. In ancient language, the pause was the threshold. In modern language, it's where the body notices, "I can exist without rushing." That single realization begins to dismantle anxiety at its root, the belief that you must constantly do something to be okay. Now we turn that into a ritual, not a performance, a mechanism. The breath gate practice, exact steps. Sit upright again, spine long, shoulders soft. If you can, dim the lights. If not, simply lower your gaze. Step 1. The 3 locks. Lips gently closed, tongue relaxed, tip behind upper teeth. Throat soft, no swallowing, no tightening. These locks prevent the breath from becoming noisy and forceful. We want quiet power. Step 2. The 4-7-8 gate. But not the way people teach it. Most people do this like a fitness challenge. That's why it fails. You will do it like an initiate. Inhale through the nose for 4. Hold softly for 7. Not a strain, just a pause. Exhale through the nose for 8. Slow and thin, like you're releasing air through silk. Do this for 4 cycles only. Yes, only 4. Because this practice is not about endurance. It's about triggering a shift without triggering panic. If you feel dizzy, reduce the hold to 3 to 4 seconds. Keep the exhale long. Step 3. The secret add-on, the inner thread. Now the part that turns breathing into a doorway. On the exhale, silently think the word Ra. Not out loud, not dramatically, just a subtle mental imprint, Ra, drifting out with the breath. Why Ra? In Egypt, Ra was the sun force, radiant order. In India, you'd call it prana. In Tibet, you'd call it wind energy. Different names, same function. A syllable that the mind can ride without grabbing. If Ra feels uncomfortable to you, use Om or simply Ah, but keep it consistent. Step 4. The still point. After the 4th cycle, do not rush back to normal breathing. Let your breath return naturally. Now place your attention on a single point, the center of your chest. Not a thought about your chest, direct attention, as if you're listening from inside your heart. Stay there for 1 minute. And here is the rule that makes this a trial. If thoughts arise, do not fight them, do not follow them. Treat them like strangers passing outside your house at night. You hear footsteps, you don't open the door. What you might feel and why it matters. This gate produces sensations that are both subtle and undeniable. Some people feel a spreading warmth in the chest, a pulsing in the forehead, a sense of distance from their own thoughts, a quiet wave of emotion, sometimes tenderness, sometimes grief. This is not random. When the breath slows and the exhale lengthens, the nervous system begins to exit survival mode. And when survival mode loosens, the emotions it was suppressing may rise, not to punish you, but to leave. That can feel like liberation or like losing control. Both reactions are part of the trial. The 3 side effects, if done incorrectly. Now I need to be cold for a moment, because some people hear breath practice and turn it into obsession. Side effect 1, lightheadedness and panic. If you force the holds, you may trigger panic symptoms, tingling, dizziness, racing heart. That doesn't mean the practice is dangerous. It means you pushed the body into alarm. Reduce the hold, keep the exhale long. Side effect 2, emotional flooding. If you have been suppressing emotion for years, calming the breath can open the door too fast. If you start crying, shaking, or feeling overwhelmed, don't label it spiritual awakening. Label it accurately, release. Ground yourself, open your eyes, drink water, stop for the day. Initiation is not losing stability, it is gaining it. Side effect 3, the vision trap. Some will see flashes behind the eyes and immediately declare themselves enlightened. Be careful. The mind can produce imagery under breath changes. That does not automatically mean truth. The real sign of the gate opening isn't visions, it's this. You become less reactive, more honest, more internally quiet. The initiate test. This is where the separation happens. Here is the moment that divides seekers from initiates. A seeker does this once and says, "Cool, what's next?" An initiate does this once and realizes, "My mind is not the ruler, my breath is the leash." And that realization changes everything, because the breath is always available, in traffic, in conflict, in temptation, in anxiety. If you can pull the breath gate in a heated moment, just one long exhale with the inner syllable, you begin to rewrite your destiny in real time. One time is enough. Why this is not a hobby. The ancient teachers did not want you dependent on rituals. They wanted you capable. If you perform the breath gate correctly even once, you may notice. You catch yourself before snapping at someone. You feel space between impulse and action. You stop needing to prove your spirituality. You become harder to manipulate because your nervous system is quieter. That last one is why this was hidden. A calm person is difficult to control. Confirmation. Anchor the gate. If you completed the breath gate, type one of these in the comments. I have opened the breath gate. Or Ra is moving through me. Or simply, the journey has begun. Not as a performance, as a seal. Because when many people make the same inner decision, something collective happens. An invisible field of permission. This is the ritual that exposes the hidden distortion inside your field so it can finally dissolve. There is a moment in every real tradition where the teacher stops comforting you. Not because they are cruel, because comfort can become a drug, and drugs do not initiate anyone, they only decorate the cage. This is that moment. Because the mirror of sound is not here to make you feel high vibration. It is here to reveal what is not. It's like shining a steady light into a room you've kept dim for years. You don't just see the beauty, you see the dust, the cracks, the objects you pretended were not there. That's why seekers avoid this gate. Seekers want sound that soothes. Initiates can handle sound that tells the truth. And yes, there are ancient stories about this. In Egypt, there were chambers where certain tones were used not for worship, but for testing, to see whether the person could hold coherence when the body began to resonate. In India, some lineages spoke of a note of the inner teacher, a tone that reveals the mind's unrest because the mind cannot hide from vibration. In Tibet, there were practices where a syllable, repeated with exact breath and attention, becomes a blade. It cuts the narrative stream and shows the raw movement of thought. Modern science has a sterile way of describing the same thing. Resonance amplifies what is already present. If a structure has a weak point, vibration reveals it. That's why engineers test bridges with oscillation. They don't hate the bridge, they want to know where it lies. You are the bridge. Sound is the test. And the weak point is never bad luck. It is always distortion, an inner mismatch between what you say you are and what your nervous system is actually rehearsing. So, let's be honest. This gate can create one of three reactions. Awe. You feel aligned, calm, almost sacred. Discomfort. You feel irritated, restless, emotionally raw. Mockery. Your mind tries to laugh, dismiss, overthink, label it cringe. All three are information. Only one leads to initiation. The hidden rule of the mirror of sound. The mirror of sound has a rule that sounds too simple to be real. The sound will not change you. It will reveal you. And what you do with what's revealed is the trial. A seeker hears discomfort and says, "This isn't working." An initiate hears discomfort and says, "Good, the distortion has a voice." The mirror ritual. You will need one thing. You will need a timer. Phone is fine. And you will need the courage to hear yourself. Sit upright again. Make sure your spine is long, your chest open, your face soft. This is not a posture of performance. It is a posture of truth. Step 1. The 2-point anchor. Place your awareness in 2 places at once. The point between the eyebrows, soft focus, and the center of the chest, warm focus. Do not strain. Just hold both like holding 2 candles in the same room. Step 2. The tone. You will make a single vowel sound. Ah. Not A like an American A, not like a lazy sigh. A clean, open ah, like the beginning of a sacred name. But here's the key. You are not shouting it outward. You are letting it vibrate inside the chest. If you can, keep it medium-low, comfortable. Step 3. The cycle. You will do this cycle 9 times. Inhale through the nose, quiet, natural. Exhale and sound ah for the full exhale, steady and smooth. After the exhale ends, pause naturally for a moment, then inhale again. 9 times. Not 10, not 50, not until you feel something. 9 is enough because the mind stops bargaining around the 5th cycle and the body begins to respond by the 9th. Step 4. The stillness check. After the 9th tone, close your mouth and keep breathing normally. Now observe your mind for 60 seconds. Do not meditate like a statue. Just watch what arises. You may feel a sudden sadness, irritation, warmth, clarity, the urge to scroll your phone, the urge to do something else. The urge itself is the mirror, because the mirror of sound does not show you mystical visions. It shows you your relationship to stillness. The 4 distortions the mirror reveals. Now, listen. Here is the moment that separates seekers from initiates in this section. After the 9th tone, there will be a small space, maybe 1 second, maybe 5, where you sense something deeper than thought. A stillness that is not sleepy, a quiet that feels alive. And then, almost immediately, the mind will try to reclaim the throne. It will suggest, check your phone, go get a snack. This isn't important. Do it later. Find a better technique. That suggestion is the guardian. Not a demon, not a curse, a pattern. The pattern that keeps you uninitiated. If you can sit through that urge without obeying it, even for 60 seconds, your nervous system learns a new law. I can feel discomfort and remain free. That one law rewrites destiny. Because most people's lives are simply obedience to discomfort. They scroll to avoid it. They argue to avoid it. They chase money, status, affection, stimulation to avoid that small internal pressure. Initiation begins when you stop obeying the pressure. Side effects: when the mirror works too well. Be aware, if you do this correctly, you may experience emotional surfacing, old grief, tenderness, regret, vivid dreams, less tolerance for fake conversations, a strange calm that makes others uncomfortable, a desire to simplify your life. These are not problems, they are signs of coherence spreading. But here is the caution. Do not become addicted to purging. Some people chase emotional release as a spiritual identity. That is another trap. The goal is not to cry forever. The goal is to live clearly. The one-time shift. Why doing it once matters. If you did the mirror ritual correctly even once, something subtle happens. Your system learns the feeling of coherence. It's like tasting clean water after years of drinking something sweet and artificial. Once you know the taste, you can't unknow it. Even if you fall back into old patterns, a part of you will remember the stillness. And that memory is initiation. Confirmation. Seal the mirror. If you did the mirror of sound, even if it was uncomfortable, type one of these in the comments. I faced the mirror, or the distortion is dissolving, or I heard the truth in silence. When you write it, you're not just communicating, you are declaring a frequency. And frequencies, when declared together, become a field. Now we go to the final section. This is the integration, the part almost no one teaches, the part the ancient initiates feared more than the chamber itself, because it is where you return to ordinary life without losing the vibration. This is the final integration that keeps the vibration alive in ordinary life, without obsession, inflation, or collapse. The stories always lie to you at the end. They show the hero glowing, enlightened, floating above life like a perfect statue. That image sells well. It makes people feel hopeful. It also destroys initiates. Because the final gate is not light, it is return. Return to your phone. Return to noise. Return to bills, errands, awkward conversations, temptation, old habits, people who still expect the old version of you to show up on command. This is why the old temples didn't celebrate too loudly when someone opened a gate. The priests knew something modern spirituality forgets. A breakthrough is easy compared to integration. Ecstasy is easy compared to coherence. Visions are easy compared to living cleanly. And the return seal is the vibrational trial that separates the ones who felt something once from the ones who became something forever. If you can do this correctly one time, you don't just have an experience, you gain a new center of gravity. The ancient warning, why they feared the ordinary world. There's a line found in different forms across traditions. Egypt whispers it as a caution against inflation, the pride that follows contact with power. India warns of city traps, getting obsessed with effects and losing the path. Tibet talks about the demon of grasping, trying to hold the experience like a possession. Different myths, same danger. After vibration opens you, the personality tries to steal it. It tries to turn it into identity. And the moment you make it identity, it begins to rot, because identity is a cage and vibration is movement. So the final gate is not how to open. It is how to not lose it. not through force, through sealing. The return seal, the ritual you do after the ritual. This is what ancient teachers gave initiates at the doorway, not inside the chamber, because the chamber was easy, the street was the trial. Sit comfortably, spine long, eyes soft or closed. You will do a 3-part seal: the body seal, the word seal, the action seal. Each part is small. Together they are devastating. Part 1, the body seal, the 12-breath anchor. Place your right hand on the center of your chest, left hand on the lower belly. Now breathe naturally, but with a single rule. Exhale slightly longer than you inhale. Count if you need to. Do 12 breaths like this. Inhale, comfortable. Exhale, slower, softer. On each exhale, feel the weight of your body in the chair. Not metaphorically, literally. Let gravity become a teacher. This seals the vibration into the nervous system instead of letting it float into fantasy. Because the most common failure after spiritual practice is dissociation. People feel above life, detached, airy. That is not mastery. That is escape. The return seal makes you heavier, not depressed, but rooted. Part 2, the word seal, the 3-word vow. Now whisper, out loud if you can, or silently if you must, these 3 words on 3 separate exhales. I return. I remain. I serve. This is not religious, it is structural. I return. I do not abandon my life for sensation. I remain. I do not collapse when the feeling fades. I serve. I do not use this to feel superior. I use it to live true. If any word triggers resistance, good. Resistance is exactly what this seal neutralizes, because an unsealed awakening produces one of 2 disasters. The person becomes arrogant and preachy, or the person becomes fragile and escapist. The vow cuts both. Part 3, the action seal, the 90-second ordinary test. This is the part that makes seekers angry because it's almost insulting. Open your eyes. Now choose one ordinary action you can do immediately after this video ends. Drink a glass of water slowly. Tidy one small area for 90 seconds. Send one honest message you've been avoiding, gentle, not dramatic. Wash your hands with full attention. Take 3 slow steps and feel your feet. You will do it without music, without ritual mood, without spiritual aesthetic. Why? Because this is the true test. Can your vibration walk? Ancient initiates feared this more than any chant because ordinary life exposes whether your coherence is real. If you can do one ordinary action with full presence, without rushing, without seeking stimulation, your field locks into a new baseline. That baseline is what changes destiny. The return traps, where most people lose everything. Now I'm going to speak sharply, because if you've come this far, you deserve truth. Trap 1, chasing the peak. After a good session, you try to recreate the same intensity tomorrow, then the next day, then the next, like a drug. That's not initiation. That's addiction to sensation. The seal teaches you the peak is not the goal, the baseline is. Trap 2, spiritual performance. You start signaling to others, talking about frequency, dropping mystical phrases, judging low-vibe people. This is the personality stealing the power. If you notice yourself doing this, return to the body seal. Become quiet. Become useful. Trap 3, collapse when it fades. Some people feel the vibration, then later it fades and they panic. I lost it. It was fake. I'm broken. No, that fading is normal. It's the nervous system recalibrating. The seal teaches you, do not worship temporary states. Build stable coherence. Cross-cultural integration. The same ending, different language. Egyptian initiation wasn't complete until the person could leave the temple and live with Ma'at, truth or order, inside ordinary behavior. India's path wasn't complete until bhakti and discipline entered daily life, not just meditation. Tibet's practices emphasized carrying awareness into every action, walking, eating, speaking, because otherwise the mind rebuilds the illusion the moment you stop formal practice. Every true tradition agrees on the same brutal point. If it cannot live in the marketplace, it is not yet real. That's the return seal. The signs of real integration. Quiet, not dramatic. Here is what you may notice in the days after doing this correctly even once. You pause before reacting more often. You choose simpler actions without forcing yourself. You feel less hunger for chaos. Some relationships feel incompatible, not because you outgrew people, but because distortion becomes louder when you're coherent. You become more compassionate, but less available for manipulation. And perhaps the strangest sign, you stop needing to convince anyone. When vibration is real, it doesn't argue. The final trial, the one question that reveals your level. Ask yourself this after the video ends. Can I carry this into one ordinary moment today? Not a whole day, not a perfect lifestyle. One moment, one conversation, one choice. That is initiation, not because it's grand, because it's true. Closing invocation. Subscribe as a resonance ritual. If you've made it this far, you are not here by accident. A seeker would have left earlier, bored, skeptical, chasing novelty. But you stayed. That means something in you is already responding to the field. So here is my invitation, not as marketing, but as a ritual. If this vibration touched you, subscribe to this channel, not to support me, but to join a living archive so this knowledge doesn't disappear back into silence. If you feel the resonance, like and share this video, not as a social action, but as a signal, a way of spreading a frequency to those who are ready but still asleep inside noise. And most importantly, leave a comment that confirms your initiation. Type, I return, I remain, I serve.